Hello, and thanks for watching my video. This is the start of a new series looking at the lore of Guild Wars 2. After the mixed success, or rather the redeeming third and final video in my Guild Wars 2 Story So Far series, a lot of people messaged me asking to do more of this type of video. So this is the first video in this series, and I hope it's up to standard. Any suggestions or criticisms, please let me know, as I want to make this as enjoyable as possible. So welcome to the lore history of Tyria. We start in the year 10,000 BE, before the exodus of the gods. This was the last time the elder dragons were awake. Although only 6 in number, they managed to wreak havoc, destroying all before them and consuming every trace of magic. The 6 elder dragons were Primordus, dragon of fire, and claimed the depths of Tyria with his army of destroyers. Jormag, dragon of ice and snow, reaper of the north, controller of his ice-brood minions. Kralkatoric, the crystal dragon, able to corrupt any land or being, controls the crystal desert and his legion of branded. Zaitan, master of the dead or undead, and able to rise continents from the ocean. Modramorth, the jungle dragon, ruler of the west, bringing lush green foliage to Tyria. A deep-sea dragon, whose name is unfamiliar to us, living in the unending ocean. This was the time in which the great giants became extinct, whose carcasses can be seen in the crystal desert and the desolation. A small juvenile giant is said to have been imprisoned in Arar, corrupted by Zaitan into an undead servant. How do we know of the elder dragons? Only 5 races managed to survive the devastation. These ancient races were the Dwarves, who are now all but extinct after fighting the rising of the elder dragons for a second time, sacrificing themselves by turning to stone during the rite of the Great Dwarf to fight Primordus and his champion, the Great Destroyers. The Jotun, who were once a powerful and magical people, knowledgeable both in sorcery and philosophy, but now are just savages, primitive. It is said by one Jotun that they, along with the Norn, used to be favoured by what we now know as the human gods, although this is no longer the case. The Mossad, who were an ancient, terrible race of spellcasters from the Isles of Janthier, but have not been seen for hundreds of years and are now thought to be extinct. Once known as the Unseen Ones, they could use their magic to slip beneath the skin of the world, able to float with elongated toes and long black feathers emerging from their backs. They wore golden armour. They created jade constructs that would defend them when their magic wasn't enough. The Mossad used their magic to slip from this world and hide from the elder dragons, reneging an agreement with the 4 other remaining races. The Mossad would finally reappear in 1070 to a human, Sol Delesio, and aided the humans against the Char. Using Sol and fellow chosen humans, the Mossad used human sacrifices on a bloodstone, a device of immense magical power. This was to prevent a race of titans from emerging into the world to kill them. The titans were eventually released, but a few Mossad survived. However, these survivors were all but eliminated during the Crichton Civil War, in which their human allies were defeated. The Forgotten, serpent-like creatures who became devout followers of the human gods, and were able to free dragon minions from their master's control, as was the case with the dragon Glint. Glint rewarded the Forgotten by hiding them along with the other races until the elder dragons returned to sleep. Then we have the Seers, a magical race. They helped forge the original bloodstone that contained all untainted magic of the Jotun, the Forgotten, the Dwarves, and the Seers themselves. The Mossad betrayed the other races and kept their own magic. The Seers then went to war with the Mossad and helped develop a defense against the spectral agony magic of the Mossad. However, this came too late during the war and the Seers were defeated. None have been seen on Tyria since 1080 AE. Since the last Elder Dragon's rising, the Dwarves are now stone, the Jotun are primitive beasts, the Seers are all but extinct, whilst the fate of the Mossad and the Forgotten is unknown. Will we meet these ancient races again? Who knows?